For a nation that prides itself on the quality of its hospitality, Japan has a tourist industry that is surprisingly underpowered. It lags substantially behind other Asian nations, and although the numbers are on the rise, it's looking to boost them significantly in the run-up to the 2020 Olympics. I teamed up with Nikkei's Akira Kobayashi for a 4-day road trip to test out the tourist experience in Japan. I wanted to know why a country that has everything you could want in a tourist destination has everything but the tourists. The first impression is how incredibly modern this station is, how very, very clean, how completely crowded, and actually fairly confusing. It took a while to work out which way to get out, but we've got out to the main square in the Kyoto Tower, and we're on our way. First stop was the Tawaraya Ryokan. Established over 300 years ago, it's Kyoto's oldest Japanese-style inn, a favourite haunt of Steve Jobs. Here you experience traditional futons, tatami matting and tranquility. The 2-storied wooden building does not look much from the outside, but inside it is peaceful and elegant, carefully designed so each room has a view of the garden. We were right in the middle of Kyoto, but even with the window open, we rarely heard any noise. Oh, and it's also renowned for its mouth-watering 10-course meals.
Yes.
Reluctantly, we tucked in.
This is very good. Maybe Japanese food and Japanese culture has moved sufficiently into Britain that even if we don't get as good as this or the same, that the tastes and the expectations are at least in the same area. But this is so much better, and it's very, very fresh. You can just tell how fresh it is.
Yeah.
The next day we left the hotel and headed downtown to see some of the shopping and food districts and to get some lunch. The challenge was to see if I could find my own way. It's a grid system, so I should have been all right, and I'd have been very embarrassed if I wasn't. Another stop was the Roanji Temple with its 15-stone rock garden, a popular destination for foreign tourists seeking their moment of zen. Another moment of zen should have been when we visited the Golden Pavilion in Kyoto, one of the most famous sites in Japan. It's known worldwide as an oasis of beauty, calm and tranquility. But the problem is that when you're known worldwide as an oasis of calm and tranquility, that can sometimes be fairly hard to come by. In contrast to the Golden Pavilion, the Kiyomiza-dera temple seems to thrive on its constant stream of visitors. Across Kyoto, really beautiful, the trees are turning red. Our last stop in Kyoto was a tour of the Suntory whiskey distillery in Yamazaki, originally created by Tori Shinjuro as a patriotic alternative to Western hooch.
This is the final stage of fermentation, so 3 days. Smells a little heavier and creamy flavor and a kind of cheese-like.
Yes.
So if you drink this ferment wash, very sour.
Yes.
Because a kind of bacteria is activated, so very sour.
I understand. After 2 days in Kyoto, we took the Shinkansen, or bullet train, back to Tokyo. And having crammed in the calm of the ancient capital, we were ready for some noisy modernity. And if noisy modernity is what you want, Tokyo can certainly provide. This is the robot restaurant. We're just waiting for the show to start. This is one of the hottest tourist attractions of the moment, so I'll look forward to talking to you at the end. This bizarre venue sees dancing girls joined by neon-lit robots and sundry monsters, a sort of camp Disneyland on acid in a venue too vulgar for Vegas. But some moments, such as when the monsters glided over the floor while girls dressed as cheerleaders sang Ave Maria, well, it's fair to say they make the place a one-off. The most ridiculous thing I've ever seen! And if you want the proof of crazy Tokyo, then I guess this is the place for you. I can say with absolute confidence that this is not a show I will forget in a hurry. Japanese craftwork is particularly popular, and in Kobayashi you can learn how to make the replica food you see in restaurant windows. The big question was whether someone whose craft skills are quite as incompetent as mine could produce something even faintly resembling enticing fake food. Yeah, quite high up. Here we go. I was beginning to see why I've never made it onto MasterChef.
I need to make more of a square. そしたらですね、尻尾をこっちから飛び出すように置いてみてください。
So I put it in here like
で
this,
ポトンと置くだけでいい。
and then I pull
で
down,
尻尾から下に
like that,
沈め
yes?
ていきます。よいしょ。はい、横に
And
くる
then
んと
I
ひっくり
wrap
返
it
す。
up like this.
でひっくり返して手離しちゃっていい。
No, no, it's good. This is my tempura.
そしたらこのままお
See,
水
look,
に
I
入れ
did
てくだ
that
さい。
myself. It was all me. Not so good on that side, but on this side, it's perfect. Akihabara is the manga and electronics heart of Tokyo. Megastores with umpteen floors are all around you to sell you comic creations and cool gadgets. It looked like the perfect place to find some presents for the children. This is Shibuya Crossing, one of the most famous spots in Tokyo. The flow of people will continue and continue until the very last minute. They're coming from this way. It's so busy and lively. Tokyo, when it's raining, is particularly dangerous because there are umbrellas everywhere. I've reached the end of a 3.5-day fast skate across some of Japan's tourist spots. We spent Tokyo largely looking at modern, lively spots, and Kyoto was much more historic. One of the conclusions I've reached is that it really is quite difficult to understand why Japan's tourist numbers are as low as they are. Japan gets around 13.5 million tourists last year. Britain, tourist numbers are nearly 3 times as much. France is astronomically, it's the most popular, most visited country in the world by international tourists, 84 million. So you can see just how much Japan needs to catch up to get the tourist revenue that a country like this should receive. It would be a shame if Japan does not benefit from the kind of tourist numbers that other nations enjoy. There's no doubt that Japan can be a bit of a challenge, but then again, isn't that part of the fun when you travel? Robert Shrimsley, Financial Times, Tokyo.